Throughout the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal tells us of the fact that He created the skies and the earth and everything between them over the duration of 6 days. وَمَا مَسَّنَا مِن لُغُوبٍ, and no fatigue touched us. It didn't tire us in the least to do this. Of course, had Allah Azza wa Jal created them in less than 6 days, it still would not have fatigued Him. Because when He simply wants something done, He says to it, kun, be, fayakun, and it is. Throughout the Quran, this is established. So then why did this world take 6 days to be created? It's not because Allah needed that span, right? That is why some of the scholars said it's actually because we need to understand the nature of this world. Nothing here happens overnight. It was for us. Allah was showing us that in this world, the nature, the matrix of this world is that things happen gradually. You don't plant and sow and harvest in this world in an instant. That's just not how this world works. Even in English, they say that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is right now. You'll get it later though. So stop wasting time. Stop waiting for opportunities to land in your lap. You have to take initiative and plan early and await for the fruits. You gotta wait. That's how things happen in this world. It is the nature of this world. Not just physical trees. Plant what you want early in your children. Plant in yourself faith now so it takes deeper roots, so when the winds blow harder later, your faith doesn't fall over. It's about what you've invested earlier on. And you know why this is extra relevant, extra timely in this day and age? Because we live in the age of unprecedented ease, unprecedented prosperity, good times. We are more well off, more comfortable by a long shot than 99.9% of all of human history. We are. But you know what that does? The risk that poses? That poses the risk of us forgetting how far back you have to go to build this far forward. You have any idea how long it took to get here? That's why the famous adage goes that it was hard times in the past that created strong people, right? And these strong men created good times, and women, of course, right? Created good times. The strength of the age that was demanded is what built greatness. But then it continues to say about the cycle of humans and civilizations. Hard times create strong men create good times. But then good times create weak men. And then weak men create hard times. And the cycle continues. And so we are more in need than anyone else to remember this, that we are subjected to weakness more than ever before because we got it easy more than ever before. The ease of life has made life so hard. No more drive, no more ambition. And you just look around. People are saying, why isn't life making me happy anymore? In the past, people used to pursue happiness. They used to call it the pursuit of happiness. Now it's, why isn't happiness coming to me? Why haven't I gotten promoted in my job yet? Should I change careers? You've only been there for a year or two. What do you mean promoted? What promotion? In the past, he'd work 10, 15 years, and then he'd start eyeing a promotion. And so that notion of everything should be effortless, everything should be easy. Our deen also came to guard us against it in many ways. You know, Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, when he became the ruler of the Muslims, shortly after the Prophet ﷺ, and there was like unprecedented growth, he was checking the Muslims, keeping them in check from overlooking the risk that we're upon right now. He used to say to them, "Inni la akrahu an arakum sabah lala." I cannot stand, I will not tolerate to see you wandering aimlessly, purposelessly. And then he explained, he said, "La fi amal ad-dunya wa la fi amal al-akhirah." Just seeing you lounging around, not busy with the work of this world or busy with the work of the hereafter. Neither. You're not even building out yourself, your portfolio as we call it nowadays. You're not building out your finances. You're not building out your family. You're not building out your knowledge. What are you doing? And Tawus, rahimahullah, a scholar, he said to his fellow Imam, Ibrahim ibn Maysara, he said to him once, they would check each other, and we need this. We need to start echoing these sentiments. He used to say to him, you will get married. Get married already, or else I will say to you what Umar used to say. Umar used to say to Abu Zawaid in this narration, ما يمنعك من النكاح إلا عجز أو فجور. Nothing is stopping you from getting married right now except you're incapable or you're wicked. Why aren't you married? Either you want to play around outside of marriage, you're a wicked person, or you're incapable. Both of those should make you uncomfortable and you want to shed those notions away from yourself. No such thing as being wicked. You can't accept that for yourself. No such thing as being incapable. If there's anything you can do about it, do something about it. Why aren't you married yet? Why don't you have a family? Why aren't you pursuing children? What do you think you're here for? How much time do you think you have? This was the type of attitude they had with each other. And that not only should ingrain in us a notion that there's no off season for a believer who understands the nature of life, right? There may be low seasons, that's human, right? Wax and wane, our ambitions dip sometimes, we get distracted sometimes, we're hardwired to be heedless, okay, but there's no off season. But it also means that when you set your goals, these incremental, these little wins as they call them, will actually create in you a desire for greater wins, inshallah. That's why this is so important. Like, there's a beautiful account that happened with another ruler of the Muslims, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, rahimahullah. And Umar ibn Abdul Aziz only ruled the world for about 2 or 2.5 years. It wasn't long at all. But the build-up, the preparation, the gearing up for that greatness is what you want to notice. It was a mindset. It was a determination. So in this incident, his lifelong advisor, Raja ibn Haywa, great scholar, once bought him a shirt when he was still the governor of Medina for 500 dirham. Let's just say dollars. And he brought it to him, and Umar ibn Abdul Aziz said to him, this is a really nice shirt. I can't hold anything against this shirt, were it not for the fact that it's for 500. Meaning it's too cheap. It's beneath me. I don't wear stuff for 500 bucks. It's got to be 1,000 plus. And years later, when he became the Khalifa of the Muslims, he became a far more pious man. And he says, I bought him a shirt for 5 dirham, 1/100th of the cost, $5. And so he said to me, there's nothing wrong with this shirt, were it not for the fact that it costs too much money. Raja, the advisor, began to cry. He said, why are you crying? What happened? He said, you remember when you told me 500 is too cheap? And he didn't remember. So after he reminded him of the incident and look at where you've been and where you are now, I feel bad for you, you're so hard on yourself. So he told him, don't feel bad for me. I've set my eyes on something else. He said to him, I have nafsun tawaqa, like an ambitious spirit inside me. Whenever I get something, I want something better. I'm actually not going lower, I'm going higher right now. He's telling him, in the past, I craved being the governor, and until I became the governor. And then I desired to marry the daughter of the president, basically. The Khalifa's daughter, Fatima bint Abdul Malik, and give her a huge bridal dowry, riches, as her bridal gift. And I did that. But then when I got that, I desired to be the Khalifa himself, the Sultan himself, the president. Not just his son-in-law. And then I became that, through righteous means, of course. And then I became that. And now I long for paradise, for Jannah. Nothing less. That's why 5 is too much right now. And there's a gem here, by the way. Like getting married, being a leader. These are all aspects of this world. This world will only not break you, by the way, when your goals in life are not the end of life. It's not the end. I want to be, a CEO. I want to be married with a nice big house with an in-ground pool. If your accomplishments in life are a means to your afterlife, then you won't be disappointed if you don't get them, right? It's not my ultimate goal. It's a means to my goal. It's a stepping stone. And also, if you do get them, you won't be disappointed by them. Because many people get what they think is worth chasing for a lifetime, then they get it, and they're utterly miserable because they thought it would fulfill them. You are not made to be fulfilled by these things. Those holes cannot be filled by materialistic gains. They'll never be filled with that. To tell you about life never breaking you, when you think about like goals, there is a man, another ruler of the Muslims that comes to mind, which is Abdurrahman ibn Muawiyah. It's going to be difficult to summarize his story, but I'm going to try because it's really worth it. Abdurrahman ibn Muawiyah was essentially the only survivor of the Umayyad dynasty. The Prophet ﷺ, the Sahaba led, one of the last Sahaba to lead is from Banu Umayyah. His family builds out a dynasty. They rule for some time. Another dynasty, the Abbasids, come in and massacre the Umayyads. Neither of them was 100% innocent at that point. They just massacre them. They kill the whole family. No one's rising to power from this family again. 2 people escape. This man I'm telling you about, Abdurrahman ibn Muawiyah, rahimahullah, and his 13-year-old brother. They're on the run. They get to the river. The mercenaries are behind them. They jump in the river. They swim. Halfway across the river, his little brother can't make it. Too tired. And the people at the shore are saying, come back. If you surrender, we promise you safety. We won't kill you if you surrender now. He had to, so he swam back to the shore. Soon as he got to the shore, they slit his throat. So only Abdurrahman ibn Muawiyah is left. He continues to the other side. And essentially, for 6 years, he's off in hiding in Africa. From like the Middle East, he crosses over eventually to Africa, West, North Africa, there. And he's hiding for 6 years, strategizing, mobilizing, all of this. To do what? He literally crosses over the sea north. He doesn't go back. He goes north and he takes over Al-Andalus. He takes over Muslim Spain. He becomes the Khalifa overnight. I know I said nothing happens overnight. Just hear me out. Overnight, to the point that historians title him Abdurrahman al-Dakhil. Abdurrahman the Enterer. It's a very clunky name in English. What do you mean the Enterer? Because that's what he did. He literally entered and assumed the role. I'm here. Everybody stand down. Because before that, when Muslim Spain was liberated, there was a period called Ahdul Wulah, the governor's phase, because there was 22 governors in 40 years. It was a free-for-all, okay? Assassinations and overthrows and rebellion, it was a mess. He walks in and clears everybody out. I'm running the show. And he runs it and grows it and establishes it. 32 years he led Al-Andalus. You know how old he was when he did that? He was 18 years old. This is why the other dynasty, the Abbasids, Abu Ja'far al-Mansur al-Abbasi, he named him, and this is his most famous name historically. You should look him up. He named him Saqru Quraysh, the falcon of Quraysh. Because his lineage goes back to Quraysh. And he flew the coop. And he refused for anyone to keep him down. I got no family. I got no sort of military mobilization. I have no life experience. I don't got much time. I'm only 18 years old. I don't have anything. He refused to be But what I want to say is, you think that came out of nowhere? No, that came out of the fact that he refused to settle and be complacent and die of depression and just throw in the towel. He was working. He knew that life does not have sympathy on those who wait for hand-me-downs. And so the summer is also ahead of you all, right? It's just the summer. He was just 18, right? Don't let the world tell you it's just the summer. Don't let the world tell you you're not 18 yet. Whatever it's going, break that ceiling, that artificial glass ceiling on top of you, and put in a plan for yourself. What are the needs out there? What does the world need? And what am I good at? and then know that you got to put in the work. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ونبيه ورسوله. You know, despite the fact that he was a genocidal dictator, this statement of his is no less true. This statement of Lenin, you guys may know Lenin of the former Soviet Union, he said that there are decades in life when nothing happens. Downtime, assumed downtime, right? Nothing happens. Then he says, there are weeks in life where decades happen. Why did decades happen in weeks? Because the underground, the infrastructure, the work, the patience caused this to come about. Later on, people only see what's on the surface, but that is not possible without what is beneath the surface. The majority of the mountain, the majority of the iceberg is underground, hard work. And that is why no one ever got anywhere. Not even the prophets of Allah without patience. You want to be a leader for yourself, lead your life in a better direction, let alone lead your family, let alone lead others. Patience. Why did the Prophet ﷺ say, مَا مِن نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا وَرَاعَ الْغَنَمِ? There was never a prophet of God except that he was a shepherd of sheep. Being a shepherd of sheep teaches you a lot. But think about it. This is downtime. This is God's prophet for like 10 years, Musa alayhi salam, or the Prophet ﷺ, right? On the side of a mountain somewhere in the shadows, right? You'd think this is like, I'm bigger than this. I'm better than this. No, this is necessary. You don't just learn patience and deliberation and the tranquility you get with dealing with docile animals and reflecting on the signs of nature and being a thoughtful, introspective person, but you also learn to be a leader. They're grazing, I can't be. I got to watch them. The wolf is coming, right? Their heads are down, I can't keep my head down. What if there's a cliff coming up, right? They're not done eating. Even if I want to leave, I got to be patient with my flock or else I'm going to part ways with them. All of this is what made great leadership possible. What made great goals possible. It was gearing up for greatness before the opportunity came, and then they were able to capitalize on it. May Allah help us capitalize on all of the time wasted and all of the times we underestimate ourselves. May Allah make us the best of those who have ambitions in this world and the next. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us plant the healthiest trees in our lives, in the lives of our loved ones, and in this planet. And may Allah allow us to reap their fruits for eternity. Allahumma ameen. May we always say, as the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, Allahumma inna nas'aluka thabata fil amr wal azimata ala rushd. Learn this dua. Oh Allah, grant me firmness in my affairs, never to be a feather in the wind, a victim of my circumstance, right? Oh Allah, give me firmness in my affairs and resolve upon doing the right thing. Resolve upon guidance. May we be the best of those who benefit from this dua.